Long before the first word was ever written, before we built the first city, there was something much more fundamental. There was the breath, and there was the beat. Today we're going to dig into one of humanity's oldest, most mysterious inventions, music. But here's the twist. We're not going to look at it as entertainment. We're going to see it for what it really was, a tool for survival.
So let's just get right to it. The big question right up front. Why music? I mean, why would our ancient ancestors, in a world where just staying alive was a daily struggle, spend so much time and effort creating rhythm and sound? Well, the answer is way more profound than you might think.
You see, the further back you look in the archaeological record, the clearer this gets. Music wasn't a hobby. It wasn't something to do after a long day of hunting. It was absolutely essential. It was woven into the very fabric of how we survived.
Okay, let's dive in. To find the origin story of music, we have to go somewhere dark, somewhere deep, and surprisingly, somewhere with amazing acoustics. We have to go into the caves of our Paleolithic ancestors. You know, the earliest evidence we have of our musical history isn't actually an instrument. It's the spaces themselves. Archaeologists have found that early cave paintings and instruments are almost always in chambers with incredible natural acoustics. These weren't just shelters, they were our first cathedrals, our very first concert halls.
But it wasn't just about finding the right space. We also have the tangible proof, the instruments themselves, which have somehow survived for tens of thousands of years. Get this. In Germany's Hohlfels Cave, archaeologists found this amazing flute carefully carved from the wing bone of a griffon vulture. It's over 35,000 years old. But what's really staggering is the craftsmanship. It has 5 perfectly drilled finger holes, which means it could play specific, controlled notes. This wasn't just some whistle. It was a precision instrument.
And it's not a one-off thing either. The Divje Babe flute from Slovenia is even older, carved from a cave bear femur. I mean, think about that. These weren't just simple toys. To make one took a huge amount of time and skill. For that era, these things were basically cutting-edge technology. And this really sharpens the central mystery for us. Why on earth would a society facing constant danger pour precious time and energy into making sophisticated instruments? The answer is, it wasn't about art. It was about community.
See, we have to stop thinking of early music as an art form. It was a technology. It was the crucial tool they used to build the single most important survival machine our ancestors had, the social group.
The key idea here is something sociologists call collective effervescence. It sounds complicated, but it's really powerful. By gathering together and syncing up their breath, their movements, their voices, all to a shared beat, early humans could get into this intense, shared, almost trance-like state. It was an experience that literally made the boundaries between people just dissolve.
This whole ritual was like a powerful 4-step process. First, you get everyone together in a place with great sound, like those caves. Then, the group syncs up to one pulse. A drum, a chant, a flute. That shared rhythm gets everyone into that state of collective effervescence. And the end result? A tribal bond stronger than any one person.
And this social technology had incredibly practical uses. It was for everything that was essential to keeping the tribe going, marking the seasons, celebrating rites of passage, grieving together as a community, and, this is a big one, getting the whole group unified and psyched up before a dangerous hunt or a conflict. Music was what turned a bunch of individuals into a single, cohesive unit.
But why does this work so well on us? Why does rhythm have this almost magical ability to pull us all together? Well, the answer isn't just in our culture. It's actually hardwired into our biology. This is where the whole theory of biomusicology comes into play. The idea is that our brains literally evolved to respond to rhythm, especially in a ceremonial setting. Being able to sync up to a beat wasn't just a fun party trick. It was a trait that helped groups stick together. And those groups that stuck together, they were the ones who survived to pass on their genes.
The difference is just stark. An individual alone in that ancient world is isolated, vulnerable, limited. But a collective, forged and bonded by musical ritual, becomes cohesive, strong, and incredibly powerful. Music was the technology that made that transformation happen.
Think about it for a second. That feeling of awe, the goosebumps, the chill you get when a giant stadium crowd sings a chorus in perfect unison. That's not just a modern emotional reaction. It is a neurological echo. It's your brain responding to a powerful, ancient signal of sound and ceremony that it has been wired to recognize for tens of thousands of years.
So, let's bring this all together.
What does a 35,000-year-old flute made from a bone have to do with the music you stream today? The answer is everything. There's this quote that just nails it. We are a musical species because we are a social species. In the end, that's what it all comes down to. The reason music hits us so hard is because our very survival once depended on our ability to connect and act as one. Music was, and still is, our most powerful tool for making that happen.
Sure, the instruments have evolved, right? We've gone from vulture bones to synthesizers. The concert halls have moved from resonant caves to massive stadiums. But the fundamental human need behind it all, that hasn't changed one bit. We use melody and rhythm to connect with each other, to feel like we're part of something bigger than just ourselves. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. The next time a piece of music completely stops you in your tracks and sends that shiver down your spine, just ask yourself, are you just listening to a song, or are you feeling the faint, primal resonance of a 35,000-year-old echo?